Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. Ha ha. Well, I'm back on you, Tizzle. I hope everybody's doing well and didn't miss me too much. And I got a lot of things to talk about tonight. We've got Trump is facing the nation. He's been facing the nation. And some of the reaction to a lot of the things that are going on and how Trump's been putting himself out there. Hi, Nikki B. How you doing? I didn't get a chance to put a heart on where you noticed my community post. I did have a lot of people give me thumbs up on that. I appreciate that. We're in a legal circus right now. All the different things going on from what they've been trying to set up Trump with to Hunter Biden trying to sue the IRS, and the IRS whistleblower said, we'll sue you right back. How's that sound, Hunter? So, yeah, the gun charges and this business with the IRS, I think there's a deeper game going on there. We'll talk about that. But let me see who all's coming in. And the F-35, that's a symbol. It crashed a couple hours ago, maybe 3 hours ago. But that is a symbol of incompetence. And I've got some statements from some House of Representative members. Hi, Marilyn. How you doing? Leisha, Miss Mendersu, Damon. Mount Marilyn, how you? Yeah, I'm finally back. Hi, Kim. So, Doc, how you doing? My. Hi, well, Mary's in here. We got Marilyn, Mary, B-Dog, Awaken Trillium, MS Motorsports, how you doing? So we got a lot of people filing in. That's good. That's good. I've got somebody on a short list for Mr. T's VP choice. I will tell it here in a little bit. Hi, Henri. I got a thumbs up now. I got my thumbs up. Hi, Wild West. How you doing? Cliff, how you doing? Susie. So, hi, Debbie. Yeah, I don't know. Roberto, how you doing? I just got to keep trucking. As always, me. How you doing? Redhausen, how you doing? So, let's see. Debbie, how you doing? Well, I tell you, in my Bumble exile, let's see, it's been a week and a half, I guess. So, really, because I could have came back yesterday, but I'm not broadcasting on Sundays as a viewer suggestion. Of course, I can't do every day of the week. It's just not physically possible. So let's see. Hi, Karen. I've been doing okay, been hanging in there. If you all want to catch up on some of my broadcasts, go to my Bumble channel, Mountain Man Speaks. I was slugging it out there. And if you didn't get a chance to see it, give it a try. Give it a try. So, I played that clip that everybody's been playing, that a lot of us watch. And, I know I'm bragging a little bit, but I put it out Saturday, where Nicole Wallace called a MAGA, a cesspool of MAGA, whatever, claiming that getting on with this chorus that something bad is going to happen. And hey, Trump's been out for going on 3 years. Okay. All the stuff we're seeing with this rampant criminal activity. First of all, most of it's not being reported. But Of course, there's a sense that there's something dangerous going on. Of course, there's a sense that things are not going well. How are you going to blame it on us? How are you going to blame it on us? But they do. That's what they're doing. And there are people out there, unfortunately, I hope that they don't, but they're getting to a breaking point. They can't go grocery shopping without getting rolled and robbed, or worse. A lot of you saw what happened to that deputy sitting in his car. He was sitting in his car minding his own business, and somebody pulled up behind him. They have arrested a suspect in that situation. I can't even say the word SH and then OOT. I can't say that thing. I can't talk about anything that might be construed as whatever. So I have to pronounce GU and the last letter N. I have to say GAN instead of with a U. And a lot of creators are doing it because you get, hey, that's just the way it is. Hi, Mike, 1176. Sherry, how you doing? So, yeah, she used foul language. I played that clip. I played the whole clip Saturday. Now, today and yesterday, I saw big creators just now getting around to it. So, if you were sticking with Mountain Man over on Bumble, you got to hear it first. And she was referring to a guy who ended up his interview, if you could call it that. He was saying, look, we're being destroyed. Our city's being destroyed. And he said these people won't be able to walk down the street. Now, isn't that something? We had a lot of quotes coming from the 17 letter. And if for those of you who have been with me for a long time, I'll give you an example. People were asking about Godfather 3. What did that letter, that particular letter that happens to be after the 16th letter, what did they mean by Godfather 3? And I've put up examples of what could apply to Godfather 3. And one of them I said half a year ago, blessed is the peacemaker, for he'll be considered a child of God. That's straight out of Godfather 3. The actor played, Eli Wallach. The actor played in Fistful of Dollars. He's the one that said that. And sure enough, Trump did a short video where he said that. And so, I am not saying anything mystical. I don't believe in sorcery. I don't believe that anybody should fall for anything metaphysical or worry about superstition, because that's the workshop of who. All I'm saying is I am listening, watching, and trying to learn and trying to pass it on. And many times I'm doing a lot of things that are exactly like these bigger creators because we're on the same page. Okay, we're not getting distracted by stuff. And I want to get into a big distraction. I think it's a big distraction after we talk about all this big stuff that's going on. Trump, during his interview, what was her name? Now, this Nicole Wallace, she used to be a spokesperson for the Bush administration, right? And the one who Trump did his interview with, Kristen Welker. I got a thumbnail I'm gonna put up after the broadcast of him and her shaking hands before the interview. And I put underneath that, it says truth and reconciliation, because I think a lot of the stuff that we're seeing right now is where the White Hats are forcing enactment of Trump's Truth and Reconciliation Act. Okay, he said the first thing we need to straighten out is the corrupt news, formerly known as the fake news, but it's now known as the corrupt news, just like crooked Hillary is now known as beautiful Hillary. Yes, and I did catch Donald Trump say doubles. Ha ha ha. So where they're, why call doubles the same thing? So it's beautiful Hillary now. But anyway, but I was going to put underneath Wecker and Donald Trump shaking hands. I was going to put fact smacks versus cheap excuses, because she was making cheap excuses, but in the spirit of reconciliation, in the spirit of reconciling. As you know, if you notice, Trump said, "You're a good reporter. You got a lot of talent." He was very nice to her. He said, "I just don't know why you keep making excuses for Biden. Why you keep making excuses for these stunts people are pulling." So he is trying to reconcile, and he's trying to help people polish and salvage careers. So, oh, no, Phil, it didn't. It crash landed in Williamsburg. They said South Carolina. It crash landed about 3 hours ago. That's what I heard. Let me see. I've got a little article. I got a screenshot of. I got to be careful I don't drop myself out of the broadcast. But let me go into my chats are jumping around and disappearing on me. Let me see here. Let me see if I can. If I took a screenshot of that, it crash landed Carolina. I heard. Now that the exact place may change. I don't know. But that's what I heard. Now we got a lot of people in. I got somebody on the short list for DJT. Well, I think it's going to be one of the people in a strong running to be vice president. Hi, Gary. How are you doing? Oh, you didn't get to go on Bumble? My. Hi, L. Griswold. How you doing? Well, you're here now, Gary. I appreciate it. I just got this message here, Gary. And Lone Wolf. Stop by, buy me a coffee. I've got a link for buy me a coffee in the description. I really appreciate it. When I was in exile in Bumble, I did get help from Hilarious too, Kirsten, and I thanked them in the last broadcast on Bumble. But while I was resting my head, like 2 a.m. or whatever it was, Aaron came through for me, and we've seen it in the chats in the past, and I'm glad to hear he's doing all right. Now I got Gary and Lone Wolf. Thank you so much for going to buy me a coffee and helping out. I appreciate it. So, hi, Rick. How you doing? Cheryl, how you doing? A Google account. Well, I'm going to tell you. There you are, Lone Wolf. Hi, thank you. I was wondering how I missed you in chats. Michael, how you doing? Somerville. Nice to see you. Ian, nice to see you. If I missed anybody, please forgive me. So anyway, boy, I got somebody. I think if Mr. T picked him for a VP spot, it would be unstoppable. Unstoppable. And I think I'm going to save it for when I can play a clip. As a matter of fact, I might do a separate short video of who I think is going to be in the running. Yeah, I'm glad to be back too, Gary. Hi, Karen. Haha, nice to see you. So I might keep it a secret until I play a clip showing who he is, who I think would be a great, unstoppable ticket. But anyway, so we're back to these two operatives that are working for the mainstream media, and that is Nicole Wallace, who had her little, I'm gonna call them hissy fits. She had a hissy fit, and she used foul language. She insulted, as we know, way more than half the voting populace by calling us a cesspool. And then you had Christian Wecker now, or Welker, or whatever her name is. And Trump handled her very well. I mean, he was not aggressive. He was not, he was firm. He was firm, and he complimented her at times, but he also had to push through what he wanted to say. And she had such weak comebacks, like when they were talking about oil and oil prices, gas prices. Oh, well, that's so many other worldwide factors. And Trump pretty much told her, no, he's incompetent. He's the problem. So I think, first of all, if they don't have Trump, they're just not going to get ratings. You want ratings, you better have Mr. T on, okay? And I think that is, I won't say forced, but I think it's required by the Truth and Reconciliation Act to start giving equal time. And hey, it's just a battle of wits when you're up there. And I think Trump took it easy on her, but he was very firm. He was presidential. And for people who have been exposed to nothing about bad things about Trump, it was important for him to keep an even keel and not get too verbose, but still stand for us and stand for principles and answer questions correctly and honestly and openly. And he did every bit of that. So, yeah, lots to reveal in the next 5 weeks. I agree. And I tell you, I did write some notes down. Sometimes I go just whatever's bubbling around my skull, but I'm going to go away from them for a minute because I've been talking about this gun charge with Hunter. And I said there were some undercurrents and things are not what they seem. I think most of us can agree in the chats that Hunter is playing a role in the downfall of his father. We've been saying that, or a lot of us have been saying that for a long time. We've pretty much gotten that message from the 17th letter a long time ago. Okay, so here we're coming in to this gun charge. The statute of limitations will be gone on that charge in 2 months from now. Certainly, they could have stretched this out, but no, they made the charges prior to the expiration of statute of limitations, and yes, it is the one charge that does not entangle Biden. But I remember that a defense was floated around that said, just because someone is accused of being addicted, does that give up their Second Amendment rights? That was the defense they were going to use. Even if someone was formally addicted, Does that mean they give up their Second Amendment rights? Clarence Thomas has said, with a lot of these state laws that have been passed, where certain felonies, people can't own a gun. And Clarence Thomas has said, what's your standard for when someone surrenders a Second Amendment right? You just dream up whatever, quote, crime that adds a punishment automatically of removing a Second Amendment right? So that is a big problem. Because on one hand, they were saying it was wrong to take away a person's right to vote because of felony convictions. And they were working hammer and tong to turn that around. Now, Clarence Thomas brought it up. Well, if that's the case, how can you justify removing a Second Amendment right for someone that commits an infraction? Okay, you automatically take away a right of the Constitution. So that may be being used to get rid of that, get rid of that penchant they have for using the law to remove a right, even if the quote crime or infraction or accusation or so-called addiction or whatever, making laws where people can arbitrarily take your Second Amendment rights. Because look how we're under the threat of red flag laws, right? Taking away Second Amendment rights because somebody throws a red flag on you. This might be a way of having the liberals, pardon the pun, shoot themselves in the foot by doing everything they can to protect Hunter, up to and including screwing up their attempts at removing people's Second Amendment rights through lawfare. Okay? This might codify in the law that you can't take someone's gun rights away for whatever you dream up in the future, be it red flag laws, or you say, oh, he got 3 DUIs, so he can't own a gun. That's the kind of stuff they do, folks. So this may very well be a compound psyop, I'll put it that way, where there's layers to it. And the ultimate goal is to use this good old boy bureaucrat apparatus that protects itself to actually screw up their plans about hurting the Second Amendment and strengthening the Second Amendment. Okay? So, I mean, if you really think about it, because we can always go back to the other stuff that has to do with Joe. We want Joe hanging in the wind, twisting in the wind. Trump is now saying 25th Amendment. Not impeach him. He really doesn't deserve impeachment. Impeachment's too good for him, okay? So we can always come back to this. So I'd like to see this gun charge play out. Because, you know, a lawyer worth of salt would say, they say, oh, we got videotape of Hunter driving 120 miles an hour, waving a gun and smoking crack. Well, first of all, how do you know it was in that pipe? How do you know he wasn't smoking pipe tobacco? Okay. And how do you know that speedometer was even real? It's just something that was put, you know, you don't have any verifiable evidence. It's a video. It's a video. It's not a radar gun. There's any number of ways to defend against that, but I think the real push on this situation is to get this business of stripping people's Second Amendment rights for other infractions put to bed. Just like they're trying to say, because Trump's been accused of things, they can strip his First Amendment of free speech with this limited gag order. What's it limited to? You can't say anything bad about us. Can't say anything bad about deranged Jack Smith. You can't bring up the fact about Jack Smith that every case he had got turned over 9-0, okay, or whatever it was by the Ninth Circuit. And then you went to the Hague, the international court there, didn't do anything. And what you have done is liable to be undone. Total failure. Total failure. And that's not being reported. So, yeah, we're dealing with two things because of this turmoil. Because of Trump, we're dealing with First Amendment guarantees that are going to be addressed. And because of Hunter, I think we're going to solidify the Second Amendment. He's being used to solidify the Second Amendment on top of providing evidence and helping to bring down his corrupt family. So, I think they'll throw the gun charge out because the business of it ending up in a dumpster next to a school, who did that? Haley Biden, Bo's widow. Hunter didn't throw it in there. That's odd. People aren't talking about, are they going to charge her? She's the one that put it in the trash pail near the school, not him. Took it out of a locked box out of his truck. Hi, Pappy Two Bears, how you doing? A Google account. Whoa. We got Kicking Bird. Sydney is working on a Brunson case with the Brunsons. I'm sure of that. I'm sure of that. And for those of you that missed my Bumble program, last one I did on Saturday, I talked about Ken Paxton, the speech that got him impeached. And it was put up on YouTube. It's still, as far as I know, still on YouTube. It was a Heritage Foundation, and you can look it up using that Heritage Foundation. And he laid out all the judges, okay, all the prosecutors. He laid out a RICO case, a corrupt organization. He laid out their modus operandi. He laid out about a certain method they use that I can't discuss on this platform. Okay, and it has to do with the selection. In other words, he gave a very nice speech to young, up-and-coming future leaders, but inside that speech, he let all the baddies know that he knows what time it is, and he knows what games they were playing, and that they're all going to get caught. They've all been caught. 30 days later, he's being impeached by the Bush family. a Google account, negligent disposal. It's not that negligent disposal, it's putting it in a trash pail within so many feet of a school. That you go to jail for that. It was a dumpster, yeah, Nikki. Hi, Andrew. How you doing? And yeah, One American Voice said, "Moron will be gone in 50 days." It's because Devin Nunes said last week, not too long ago, he said 60-day countdown. Devin Nunes says, and don't forget the recordings that are supposed to come out anytime between now and Halloween. Remember that? Who was that? I've got it in my other studio. Who said that? But anyway, George P. Bush renewed his law license because he thought he was going to step in as a Texas attorney general. That was probably all with phone calls prearranged. And let me tell you something, people of Texas have got to aggressively pursue primary and removal of every rhino and, of course, every delusional Democrat that participated in this attempt to impeach Ken Paxton. Now they're trying to get him on security and exchange, a case they're investigating. But I will remind those who may have forgotten the Security and Exchange Commission, the person in charge of that has got something to do with what's Peter Strzok, that one of the FBI guys, his sister works for him, and he's got ties to Stanford University, and he has been doing selective investigations of what? Of X, formerly Twitter, and holding up the Truth Social deal. He's been showing himself to be anti-Trump, as far as I'm concerned, anti-American and anti-free speech. But anyway, so now he's going to be trying to investigate Ken Paxton, okay, participating in this illegal lawfare operation. Well, we are flushing so many out, from YouTube, quote, creators, okay, all the way up to members of the FBI, members of the Justice Department, member of the Security and Exchange Commission, members of the National Archives, just everywhere they could think of to infiltrate. We're flushing them out. Miss Mindersu, my goodness, thank you very much. I just got this notification here. Miss Mindersu helped out with buying me a coffee. Well, that makes up for the exile in Bumble. I appreciate the people that helped while I was in Bumble, but boy, it was skinny. and the people that helped me out in Bumble made my day. I'll tell you that. So thank you, Miss Mindersu. I appreciate it so much. That's right, Phil. Stanford and FTX. And Sam Stankman fraud. Sam Stankman fraud. Yeah, you could say revalue. Oh, can you say revalue? Okay. Oh, the crash. The Prime Minister of Iraq speaks at the UN building. Oh. And Zelensky just landed in D.C. Zelensky's going to be in D.C. tomorrow. He's there now, tonight, I guess. So we got to see what's up with that. So we're getting so many people rounded up, and so many people are every day. There are people who have got to make choices. Remember when things were getting heavy at the FBI, and Marjorie Taylor Greene said, if anybody's going to be a whistleblower, now is the time. and intimating that it's going to be too late if you don't. And the next day, you had whistleblowers. Well, there's a lot of people, especially with this Ken Paxton acquittal, that are going, I think it's time to maybe rat people out. That's going to happen. Gonna happen. Just looking through the chats here. Avoid precious metals? A Google account? No, I say precious. Well, everybody do what they want with their money. I'm not. I don't. All I know about is what I got. My money. What I like is precious metals, and I think that's going to be as it has throughout history, all human history. We're going to go back to it because digital money to me is a path to slavery. They'll find a way. They'll find a way. So I tell you, and plus I saw a lot of people showing that video of where they were unsealing the machines and changing cards out and stuff like that. And that guy was sitting at a desk reloading the cards. I played that, oh gosh, a month ago. So, but that's good as long as it's getting out to the people, because I got a little bitty show here and a little bit of broadcast. So, I want to remind a lot of people too, or inform new listeners that this stuff that came out about Trump, because he got to bring up during that interview, he got to bring up again the 51 intelligence agencies, the fake dossier, all this stuff. Remember, John McStain is the one who brought that dossier to the, hand-delivered it to the FBI. Okay? John McStain. Oh, yeah, Diane, I got a collage of pictures of Fetterman. Yeah, there's no way they could say that that's all the same guy. The pictures that they've been putting out. Who knows what really happened to him, how good his brain is working or whatever. And the other thing, Trump posted that map I put up, that electoral map that said if the election was held today, Trump would crush it, just crush it, with about 45 states out of 50. I don't know. It just absolute. That's today's polls, and that's another sign of what I say is the Truth and Reconciliation Act being enacted, is that the polls are all undeniably in favor of Trump. Trump brought up the last time, he said these fake polls, push polls, are illegal. And you don't see it now. And you don't see anything out of Frank Luntz. But I tell you what, if he comes out there, he's not going to be, I don't think he's going to be allowed to put up a bunch of garbage and fake stuff. So, yeah, that's a lot of Fettermans. Go run around looking for some big, goofy looking character. X22 said, "Wasn't no crash." I heard it crashed. So, yeah, I don't know what happened. That knot on the back of his neck. That one where he's going, ooh, oh, you're going to impeach Joe, ooh, and he turns around, walks away. I'd have to take a look at a clear video of that, see if there was some kind of knot back there on the back of his neck. So this business with the, what's his name? Oh, Russell Brand. I talked about that the last show too, and I said, hey, he lived a bawdy, to be nice, called a bawdy lifestyle. I've read about him in the past. I've seen some little clips and stuff here and there, and I knew about his interview and discussions with Jimmy Savile. I've known about that for a long time, and I said in the last program I did not care for him. I thought that he looked repulsive and he behaved in a repulsive manner. Just because he's going over to talk bad about Big Pharma, talk about stuff we already know about, New World Order and stuff, doesn't mean I'm gonna buddy up to him. If he didn't do anything wrong, I don't want him to suffer. But I heard that, who knows how true it is, that these text messages, some people are saying that they were forged, where he was apologizing for what he did. But there is no doubt that there is a RA, and then the other two letters are PE kit that was administered, and there's evidence has been frozen as far as DNA and witness testimony and things like that. Because somebody turns over a new leaf, that doesn't excuse you if you've harmed somebody. And I personally feel that you can't go with that kind of attitude on top of the behaviors. And hey, you say you're messing around with 80 women a month. Okay, in 10 months at 800. You're never gonna do anything that crosses the boundaries of the law ever. You're gonna bat 1,000. Doesn't make sense to me. So, he's got enough money, he's got enough contacts, he's got enough resources to give himself a world-class defense. Okay, so wherever the chips fall is where they fall. But even if he didn't do anything wrong, he's not somebody that is on my list of people to worry about or pay attention to because of his guttural lifestyle. Guttural. Yeah, we probably are the only ones talking about it, Gary. Oh, Wild West says CNN's posting right now a plane crash North Carolina. I heard it was in Williamsburg, South Carolina. So that was about an hour ago. That was the update I heard. Kim, the one girl had gotten that RA, and then the last two letters is PE kit done after the assault. And that was years ago. She went to the hospital, Kim, but the police didn't do nothing about it because he was a big star. Just like, oh my gosh, what's her name? Complained about Joe Biden. And the Delaware records got all, she moved to Russia because she's afraid. what's her name? That uh, accused Joe Biden of that same type of assault. No, Phil, Scott McKay. I've talked about him in the past. He's off my list after what he did with Christian W. Yeah, they deserve a second chance, Outlandish. But if they, if it was a felony assault on someone, there's a victim. I mean, it's got to be. If there wasn't that kit that was collected by the police, if you guys know what I'm talking about, bodily fluids and everything like that, right away, a report done right away by the police. That's that. Why was that covered up? So we'll see if those text messages are real. He's in deep trouble. But then again, you see people like what's his name? That one that he ended up giving an apology to a 14-year-old, but they acquitted him. What's his name? Kevin Spacey. He didn't pay any consequences. He had world-class defense, plenty of money, and he had multiple underage males. And he issued an apology to a 14-year-old. And in the UK, 16 is legal. I think they're going to change that, but I don't care what's legal over there. A 30-year-old man being abusive psychologically, on top of engaging in that kind of activity with 16-year-old, that person has no respect from me and will never have respect until they come to Jesus. And believe me, that hadn't happened with him. That's right. We get the news first. Wild West. So anyway, I was talking about Scott McKay. He has said some vile things, and he got called out by Alan Dershowitz, and he got barred from all the Trump properties by Eric Trump. He's not allowed. Scott McKay is not allowed on any Trump properties. And I called him out in past. I've done broadcasts about him, Phil Godlewski, and Mike Penny. And that 70s show guy, yeah, that got him 20 years, Phil. Well, if you're talking about Kristen W., she had some off the wall beliefs and stuff, but she definitely was pulling for the U.S. and against the deep state, and she didn't deserve what happened to her. I can tell you that. And Scott McKay and Michael Jaco, They're nothing in my book. Nothing. A waste of time. Yeah. Kevin Spacey, his accusers didn't end up well for their accusers. Whoa. What did Phil do? Godlewski? He's full of garbage. I played videos of him making an idiot of himself. Now he's got some kind of video he put up where he's supposedly being interrogated. Who's giving you all this inside information? We need to know. We're with the FBI. You know, a big bunch of phony garbage. And he's another one that is on record for having inappropriate relationships with people that are very young. You do that in my book, you're done. On top of all the garbage he pumps out. I mean, people want to have clicks, and they end up getting involved in things and saying things that the internet's forever. I know sometimes I go off and run my mouth, but I try to be careful not to say things that are hurtful to other people, but are my beliefs. You know, they caught a guy, I'm sure you all heard of it. What timing? They caught a guy with a fake outfit on that he was Secret Service near RFK. Wouldn't that have been horrible if something would have happened to RFK after what happened to his father and his uncle, our president? And I'm certain that whoever that was is being very strongly questioned. I'll put it that way. Thank you, Phil. Yeah, the truth will set us free. Yeah, the closer you get, it's the easier it is to get through the minutia. Let me tell you, there's all these stories. I'm interested. I like seeing the chats. That's why I'm quiet and going through. And I look at the clock. I go, gosh, 54 minutes have already gone by. And I got all this stuff that we could have been talking about. But, you know, there's always tomorrow. But I wanted to address something, guys, that bothered me. And I will tonight. I'll go longer because I'm going to address this. I mentioned it a few times. I'll go through very quickly. I know about this. Trudeau just accused spies sent by the government of India of being behind a fatal incident on Canadian soil. I don't know if you all heard that. But we got the Department of Justice trying to put two women in jail. One lady's in her 70s, one lady's in her late 60s, for protesting outside of a clinic that ends little
ones, okay? And we've got all this rampant crime going on. An 80-year-old man was gunned down by a guy riding a bike. Where was this? I took this picture of this story minutes before I went live. New York Post. Harrowing surveillance footage captures the street execution of an 80-year-old New York City man by a bike pedaling gunman. To go through this life at 80 years old, and that's the way it ends. Marcelo Valerio and his spouse had just arrived home from a Sweet 16 party when the elderly man was ASHOTDEAD in front of 1209 Ogden Avenue in Highbridge. Coming home from a Sweet 16 party, and somebody just rode by on a bike. So, and they're focusing on locking up elderly ladies who are protesting at clinics that end lives. So, all these stories I could talk about tomorrow. I want to talk about, we just had 9/11. We had a lot of people hearing things they never heard before. I believe part of the Truth and Reconciliation Act has been coming out, along with Mr. T's comments saying we don't know what everything that happened. So we got a lot of people paying attention to 9/11 for the first time in over 20 years. We've got this upheaval where people are understanding the term deep state. We've got what we all refer to as the Great Awakening occurring, right? Somebody comes up with a story. Do you know Jesus was born on September 11th? On the anniversary. That's what they post on social media. That's what they spread around. Very upsetting that people fall for it. People try to profit off of that kind of talk. And I'm sick of it. And I'm not going to be nice about it. For one thing, I know that we celebrate on December 25th. The exact day, the exact this, the exact that, finding the stable or claiming they found the stable where he was born, or the bones of the farm animals that gathered around him to keep him warm. None of that matters. What matters is the reason for the season, okay? That we know the reason for the season. That we know that in the dark cold of winter, we celebrate the birth of Christ, bringing light to a dark, cold winter. That's the way I look at it. And some clown comes out with, well, this Bible phrase compared to this astrological chart and this and that and this, put September 11th as his birthday on the anniversary of that horrible day, either on purpose or out of stupidity or greed for clicks. They insert our Lord, serving no purpose except for the black hats. And let me tell you how. They got a triple header, okay? They divide people. They distract people who are learning about the real truth of 9/11. And they insert the image of Christ into a horrific terrorist act. Three things they got done by pumping out that garbage. And then people say, well, that's what the Satanists do. They pick days and they have these symbols, and they that's why they did it on 9/11, because it's Jesus's birthday, like they're decoding something. Well, first of all, I didn't say anything about it until now, because I wanted to not distract people from learning and spreading the word about 9/11. I didn't want to divide people by getting in an argument, 2 of the 3 double headers. And I did not want to sully the image of Christ with that terrorist act. That's the third thing that the black hats got done with that kind of garbage talk. And let me tell you something that will benefit you in the future about symbolism. Symbolism will be their downfall, not mine, not Christ's, their downfall. I'll give you an example of the dark power of sorcery thinking, okay? Magical thinking. The number 13. Imagine you find a certain type of ice cream you like, and you got somebody with you, and a couple of days go by and you say, man, I really like that, I'm gonna get another bowl. Next day, I'm gonna have another bowl of ice cream. And that person says, do you realize that's going to be your 13th bowl of ice cream? What? Yeah, you've already had 12. This is unlucky number 13. Well, this is chocolate peanut butter ice cream. I really love it. Yeah, but you're going to have a 13th bowl? Well, first of all, if you allow your mind to be weak enough to worry about that, and you decide to eat ice cream, you're going to be scared and uncomfortable. If you're really upset over their symbolism, you'll never have that ice cream again. Or you can be like me and say, you gave your mind over to Satan. Okay, I'm going to enjoy my ice cream. Okay, and you can keep that kind of talk to yourself. As a matter of fact, get up and go somewhere. And I'm going to enjoy my ice cream. That's the way I operate. Because if you allow their symbolism to influence your mind, like when you went to Walmart to get eggs and they were $6.66. That's what happened to me. Did I go, oh my gosh, and give me my money back, or be scared of every egg I ate? No. I said, that's their problem. Because if that person sitting there spooking you gets you to not eat the ice cream, they got power over you. And whose fault is that? Your fault. If you don't ever eat that bowl of ice cream, you have wronged yourself. That's the way it is with their symbolism. They can have all the rituals they want. They can take their fingers and make a circle and put their eye in there and look through their fingers in a circle with one eye. They can chant. They can wait till a certain star is in a certain place in the sky, and no, it does not bother me at all. Christ didn't tell me to worry about symbols and numbers and mysticism. He told me to worry about today. Take care of today, and tomorrow will take care of itself. Not worry about what I'm going to do tomorrow when I get to am I going to have my 13th bowl or not have my 13th bowl? Don't surrender the power of your mind, your heart, and your strength to their goofball symbolism. So when they come up with this September 11th is the real day Jesus was born, remember, they divided people, they distract people, and they mix the memory of Christ up with a horrible event. When what happened to Christ and what he did for us stands alone. So remember that, folks. And their symbolism is their downfall, not our downfall. There you go. Nikki, you were married on the 13th. Don't let their symbolism run your life. And don't let their little goofy stories get in the way. It's funny how many people fell for that. And it's sad, really. So I've been meaning to get that off my chest. And if you did, take your precious time. That's the other thing, too. Even if you thought about it for 10 minutes, or some people picked the phone up and called a friend and repeated that. Do you know September 13th or September 11th was the real date, birthday of Jesus? Whatever amount of precious time people spent on that, not only were they helping to divide, distract, and sully, they were wasting their precious time. And if it was 10,000 people, now you got to think now on the internet, you're talking the energy, the life energy, which we have a life energy of, say, conservatively 10,000 people spent 10 minutes. How much precious time is gone? And you can't get it back. Once that second hand goes around the clock, it doesn't go backwards. So whenever you hear things like that, folks, think about that, your precious time and the precious time of your friends. Somebody's talking nonsense, you just tell them, we're friends. I hope we'll always be friends, but you're full of baloney. Don't talk about that anymore. Just like I would have told somebody if they said I was on my 13th bowl of ice cream, I'd ask them, what's wrong with your brain? So anyway, I am so glad that Trump represented us, represented himself, represented the presidency in his interviews. I'm happy that the mainstream media is grabbing at straws, saying that he had one time where he was gathered his thoughts at a speech, And they did a video, that Midas Touch bunch did a video saying that Trump was losing his mind after he'd done multiple speeches at multiple venues that day, had done a rally a couple of days before, and then did the interview with Megyn Kelly, and then did another major interview with Meet the Press, and knocked it out of the park, every single one. And I'm glad they have to stoop that low to try to find something wrong with Donald J. Trump. It shows you how desperate they're getting. So anyway, folks, I appreciate everybody that helped me out tonight, and everybody that helped me out during the my exile in Bumble. Gary, Lone Wolf, Miss Mender Sue tonight for sponsoring this show, and Aaron, Kirsten, and Hilarious too for helping me out during Bumble. I appreciate it very much. I got a link in the description for Buy Me a Coffee. Anybody else wants to help the channel out? Hi, Dottie. How are you? Thank you for welcoming me back. Hi, Garrett. How are you? So we got a lot of other stories. I'm planning on going live tomorrow night. We're going to talk about a lot of the stuff that's going on. It's going to seem like the sky is falling, but we know it's not, and we're going to be prepared, and we're going to be able to help our friends. That's the thing that got me with that business. We know there are going to be times when we have to explain things to people, and 9/11 is one of them. We have to ease people into the reality that our own government had something to do with 9/11. And then somebody throws that curveball that got me upset. This is when we're supposed to be prepared to shine. Okay? Prepared with the truth organized properly in our head, free of fantastic notions and magical thinking. Okay? So that's the thing to practice. That's where to get your mind. So I appreciate you all listening to me, and I appreciate you all spending your precious time with me. Go past that 13th bowl, have 14, 15, 16, 17. You enjoy life and God's gifts, the things you earned. You help yourself, and you raise your loved ones and your family higher. A rising tide lifts all boats, folks. We'll get through this. And I'll probably go live tomorrow, so if you're not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when I go live. You all have a great night. I'll be talking to you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.